again, grab your pen, grab your piece of paper, because we really want to talk about, what's your lane?
Yeah, and how to occupy it. We got some good stuff.
We got some good stuff. So get your pen, get your paper, your memo, your phone memo, because it's about to go down. You ready, babe?
Yeah, I am.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So the last few weeks has been a lot of things going on. We got COVID. We also had a COVID crisis, and then we also had a racial crisis that's swept through the nation and the country. Woo! And I know you all have felt it in some shape, form, or fashion. Some more than others, but I'm excited because we're going to persevere. We're going to move in a greater direction than we ever have before.
Yeah.
And so get excited too, because change is coming. Real change is coming. I'm hearing every day about different policies, different committees are being put together to make sure that we weed out racism and injustice and truly make it a justice for all country and world. And so I'm excited. So the upside of things is we really today want to talk to you about what your lane is and how you're going to occupy your space as we're working in our lane, right? And so we'll tell you about our lane soon enough, but we want to talk about a few things. So as just a check-in, we really want to know, how are you doing?
Yeah, so put it in the comment section. We really want to hear from you. Given everything that's been going on, I know social media has been supremely active. So we want to know exactly, like, how are you doing? All things considered. All things considered.
Yeah. Put it in the chat section, because we really want to know how you're doing. And I always ask, again, when I ask somebody how you doing, like, how you really doing?
How are you really
during this time, right? Because like I said, it's been a couple weeks of roughness. I know I've been on an emotional roller coaster, from anger to irritation to frustration to what is going on in this world? What about you?
For me, I think it's just been a lot. It's been a point of reflection for me, and I think one of the reasons why this is such a necessary topic is because sometimes you can get so caught up, and I hope I'm not getting ahead of myself, but sometimes you can get so caught up watching what everyone else is doing, trying to figure out how you fit into that space or not. And it's been a ton of questions, a ton of interaction over a short period of time, and the need to jump in and be active. So I think these past weeks I've been thinking, well, Terah, what should you be doing at this point? What does it look like? So definitely been questioning a lot, been reaching out. But I'll jump into that a little bit when we get further along. But
listen, because here's the thing, we are self-leaders, and so we're being quick to listen and slow to speak, doing our best to be slow to speaking. But really we're asking and we're praying about, what is our lane, so to speak. What we're going to talk about, what is our lane as it relates to the injustice and racism around America.
So we got some people saying that they felt exhausted, mentally and emotionally exhausted. Yes, definitely felt that. Cordell said grateful. And he said better too. Better and grateful. So tell us, really, as we go along, like, how have you really been feeling? How have you been processing everything? Even if you had a chance to. Because this is kind of like our little pause to check in with everyone and to just tell you guys what we've been up to and what that looks like.
KJ, so, can you see? Look, we got KJ in the house, y'all. We got KJ in the house. So can you see? Is there any comments on there?
Yes.
Any comments?
Emotionally drained.
So emotionally drained.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How are you feeling? That is the question.
I don't know where to go to comment.
I need a nap and a hug.
Yeah.
Nap and a hug. I've been taking a few naps because I'm like, you know what? This is too much. This is too much.
Keith, I've been wanting to hear that saxophone. That's what I've been needing to hear, lately. But But yeah, so again, we just want to check on you, see how everything's going. But this segment is called "What's Your Lane?" and occupying your lane, because we understand that there's many things people are charged and wanting to do. Everything to get rid of, finally, once and for all, racism, injustice, inequality. People are ready and excited, but here's the thing: you can't do it all.
Yeah,
you can't do it all.
Thelma said, "This has been really overwhelming for me. I'm emotionally drained and so saddened by what's happening in our country." Yeah, that has been the tone. That has literally been the tone, for the past couple weeks. Feeling bad to see person. This time of yeah. So what we really want to do is kind of jump into the importance, like why is it even important for us to travel in our own lane? Yeah. So the importance of traveling in your lane. Do you want to read that, or are you good? Yeah. So the reason why we're talking about this is because we want everyone to understand exactly what different lanes look like and where do you fit in that way. So I've been on social media off and on, just kind of pulling out little nuggets here and there, and I've seen quite a few things. But the important part of it is, well, this one quote, it says, "A revolution has many lanes. Be kind to yourself and to others who are traveling in the same direction. Just keep your foot
on the gas.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing, because everybody is traveling in the same direction, right? We all, and I think that's the most important thing on this segment, is that we're all going towards the direction of justice, equality, anti-racism. We're all going in that direction, but it's going to look differently. And so we need everybody to be in their lane, in their specific lane where they thrive. Right? The lane where you're thriving in certain areas. Like, we understand the lane that we're in, and we're going to let you know what that is. And so it's easy, but it's hard. It could be very hard for other people, but for us, it's like, okay, we already know, we understand. It's part of our purpose.
So let's just talk about some of the lanes. So we're going to outline some lanes, and let us know in the comment section too, which lane do you see yourself fitting in, or even if it's multiple lanes. Okay, so the first one is protesting in the streets or organizing the protest. That's a particular lane. The second one is posting on social media. But let's talk a little bit about what that looks like. Posting on social media.
So posting on social media is it comes about where you're posting about injustice. You're posting about things that causes injustice. So one thing that I posted last week was systemic racism in the country, and so it was an educational piece that allowed people to get a glimpse of what has taken place throughout history in the U.S. that you probably may have never known about in the Black community. And so now you get a glimpse of seeing what that looks like, and so posting things that causes awareness. And awareness is huge, but in the midst of your awareness, also be mindful of how you respond. How do you respond to people? Even if it's on your post, if it's on your wall, that is so important, because this is what I always think in the back of my mind. The goal remains the same. Is this conversation moving it forward? Is it moving the convo forward, or is it hindering me from what it is that I'm setting out to do with my post? No. But what if they attack me? Then what am I supposed to do? I'm not supposed to defend myself?
What type of answer you want?
I'm supposed to defend myself?
No. I mean, what is the reason behind defending yourself at that point? Do you have anything to prove to anyone? And I think there's also been this battle of, I'm doing this much more than you, and I'm, it's kind of like a competition, and that saddens me a bit, But for me, it's like, what I have to say, is it going to be beneficial for the goal that I have in mind?
Right.
Will it be beneficial or will it hinder me? Because you can end up spending hours a day just literally responding to people, and if people aren't willing to, if people don't possess empathy or some of the basic characteristics, then you're wasting your time.
So it's really like my TEDx, and so the three ingredients that I give in my TEDx is respect, empathy, maturity.
Yeah.
You have to have those 3 elements in the conversation for it to go well.
Yeah. For it to be a winning conversation.
For it to be a win. See, because we all about winning conversations, and so if respect, empathy, maturity is not a part of your post or response back to the individuals, then you may want to pause, back away, maybe push it to the side or delete.
Yeah. What we like to say in the islands is you need to dip out.
Dip out.
Dip out. And that's just what it is. So number 1, we had protesting in the streets or organizing the protest. That's a way. That's a lane. The second one is posting on social media. That's a lane. Yeah. The third one is donating silently. That's another lane.
Donating to who?
Donating to organizations. Black Lives Matter organizations. Donating silently. That's another lane. Then there's also the educating yourself lane. What does that look like?
So educating yourself, I mean, that it speaks for itself, and so that's you choosing to take a deep dive. So you going from awareness. Yeah. Everybody, almost I would say everybody who's on social media or watching some type of TV is now aware of injustice, inequality, racism. Yeah. You're aware. Yeah. Well, we gotta move from awareness. It's time to move from awareness to education, and so education looks like diving into some books, some articles, some videos, some TEDx's. What else? Conversation. Yeah.
Having those much needed conversations. And even on the same vein of education, you don't want to take yourself out of the equation and say, well, okay, this person needs to be educated on this, so I'm educating them. This person needs. You don't want to take yourself out of the equation because you also are an active participant. Yeah. So what that looked like personally for me is that I met up with some people. I met up individually just to understand, to swap books, to all of that, because I want whatever I have to say or the actions that that I do to have value. I mean, just this weekend, we met up with someone, very great woman, who's been in this work for 30 years, right? So this way longer than us. And she was able to equip us with some things, some tools, some resources, so we can be even more active in our lane. So when I post, people start trying to justify racism. I always post this: privilege isn't about just the things you were given; it's about the things you were never subjected to. That's powerful.
That's good.
That's powerful.
That's good.
Yeah. And then another way, as far as knowing exactly what your lane is to have tough, necessary conversations with family, friends, co-workers. Yeah. What would you describe as being necessary conversations? What does that look like?
This topic. Again, we're still dealing with racism, injustice, inequality in the 21st century, y'all. Yeah. In the 21st century, slavery was done over a long time ago. Martin Luther the King did all his things, and all the movements that have taken place are sweeping across this country, this amazing, great country. But still, to the 21st century, we still are having family members, church members, friends, and co-workers that don't get it. Yeah. And it's at a point where, because they're aware now, they're now at the point where they're just choosing. They're just choosing not to act. And so we must, those who are aware and have already started moving to the educational piece of it, we have to start being okay with being uncomfortable. And that does mean if you have never talked about race in your household, that is saying, let's take a chance and talk about race.
Yeah.
What's going on? You know, we seen this, there was a video that had gone viral about a young lady, and she was talking to her parents about racism and the things that have taken place with the George Floyd. And it was saddening at one end that her parents weren't getting it. And she was the one trying to let them know that humanity is important.
Yeah.
But then it was exciting to see that these conversations are taking place.
Yeah.
And so do it. Do it uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because if you never do it, then the conversation won't be had.
Yeah.
And more change won't take place.
Yeah. So here are a few other lanes that we wanted to touch on. So first we have protesting in the streets or organizing the protest, posting on social media, donating silently, educating yourself, having tough, necessary conversations with family, friends, coworkers, but also counseling. Counseling is a way that you can, travel in your lane.
Yeah.
And another thing that we noted too was art activism. So there are many different lanes that you can occupy or that you might find yourself in. So don't feel guilty if you can't occupy all lanes. Okay, because we don't need a bunch of people in one lane and nobody over here in this lane. Like we need you over here too. Yeah. So we all need them. That's the main point. So let's talk a little bit about the lanes that we fall into though. What does that look like?
So the lanes we fall into is the education. So the educating ourselves. We strongly believe in equipping ourselves with tools and resources, connecting with people like my friends Paul and Crystal, and Kim and Lynn. Like we believe in building, community so that way we can see ourselves and see different perspectives, right? And then
well, it's one way to educate yourself, but I like how you said about being in community. So even taking a step back to see exactly what does your circle look like. What do your circles look like? Does it reflect what it is that you're advocating for? So that's super, super important, and that's even a point for me to kind of look at. What does my circle look like here?
That's good.
I just had to say that.
And so so educating ourselves, and again, Paul just asked, what is education yourself? So educating yourself is those deep dives into books, articles, documentaries. Like I just watched Selma for the first time yesterday, and so man,
he was crying, y'all.
I was not. Babe, why you gonna tell the world?
My bad. He wasn't really crying, but
no, man, I don't cry anyway. Anyways.
Okay.
So it was great. But then taking the next step, our lane is actually educating people. So we're coaches, trainers, and speakers. And so
I'm an educator by heart.
Yes, we're educators. And so for purpose, and a part of our purpose is to help ignite, inspire, and empower, equip people with the tools and resources that we have.
And by us staying in our lane, or occupying our lane, we teach others the art of having those winning conversations. So we're then able to coach and to teach and to train people how to have winning conversations. It sounds simple, but it's really complex. You're battling a whole lot of stuff, how to handle conflict. What does that look like to have effective communication? So that's really our lane. And then one of the things that we wanted to touch on as well is for you to really think about what is preventing you from getting in your lane. So out of the lanes that we mentioned, what is really preventing you from getting into those lanes or to occupy them?
Just think about it. So we talked about 7 different lanes, and so think about, and let's do it this way. Think about what could possibly be the barriers from you operating in the lane, and one of the lanes that we said, or even a different lane. What could be a barrier?
Is it fair?
What is it? Fair. What we seen the other day, Terah showed me that was the owner of Amazon.
Oh, Jeff. Bezos?
Yeah, so Jeff Bezos from Amazon, they posted, Black Lives Matter on their website. And he posted on his social media that he was getting so much pushback from customers.
Yeah.
And
threats almost.
Really threats that, they were going to, not do business with him anymore because he spoke up about the injustice and racism around the country.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, and so that could be a barrier for you, but that could come by way of family members, co-workers, bosses, church members. But we want to encourage you to stay the course, right? Stay the course, stay in the race, because it's not given to the swift nor to the strong, but he that endures to the end.
Come on, babe, you better lay that word.
We just gotta put the word out there, right? So I need you to keep barreling through any of those barriers, because that's what's going to have sustained change.
And what I liked about Jeff's comment, like I know Jeff like that, Jeff. Yeah. What I liked about his comments is that he didn't just post the uproar from his customers, select customers, but he also showed his response, which also was, hey, look, I understand that you feel this way, but know that I'm not changing my position. So I would much rather lose you as a customer than to change my position. So it also looks like, what are you standing for? What do you believe in? What do you truly believe in?
And that's the goal. That's having the big goal in mind, because people are going to evil is going to try to stop this movement towards anti-racism and and injustice. People are going to intentionally put more hate messages out there. Ugly faces are going to come out. As they have been. Somebody just posted some VP, I don't know what company, but posted a noose around President Obama's neck. Like, again, the 21st century, and they're thinking that that's still okay, or even having it in their heart to say that's okay. It's not okay. And so those are things that could, some different things that things can prevent you.
So I wanted to really just jump in here to say, because this was personal for me, and I'm hopeful that it, means something to you guys as well. But for me, I knew my emotional capacity. And I knew, just know myself, how much I can take, how many images I can see, how many videos I can watch, how many comments I can read. And I literally had to disengage for a while, because it's like, okay, Terah, you need to take a step back in order to see what productivity looks like for you in this space. Because I tell y'all, my body literally reacted, like stomach knots, everything reacted, just based on, seeing everything like 24/7 in your face. So for me, and even for you, if you have to take that step back, if you have to put a time limit, adjust your notifications in IG, Facebook, whatever the case might be, so that you can protect your space, do that. But don't just do that. Do that with the intention of, hey, what is my part? What is my lane here? So we just want to leave you with some tips if you are struggling with having winning conversations. Okay, so we're going to give it in the form of questions. Before we jump into that, let's see what we have here. So just seeing what you guys have here. Okay, Mercy said, educating yourself and being aware of your own community biases.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes. Education without community relational interaction fails far short of a transformational impact. That's amazing.
That's good. That's good, Kim.
People might be uncomfortable to change lanes.
So that can be a barrier. That can be a barrier. And so in response to that, if you feel like you're stronger in one lane than another, or if you want to make a switch to a different lane, connect with people, right? Connect with someone who is in that lane that does it well. Right? There's, my slogan, y'all. If you're doing life alone, you're doing it all wrong. So if you're doing anti-racism, injustice alone, you're doing it wrong. So how can, find out how we can help you, or how other people can help you in that lane and push forward. Because that's the thing. It's not about getting stuck and stagnant and not doing nothing and just sitting and hoping and waiting that something happens. No, we don't have time for that. We're moving forward.
And the thing is, like, we didn't expect that this was going to be a thing in 2020. But it still isn't an excuse not to get involved in some capacity. And again, being honest, for me, even though I know that my lane is education, I need to know how to do it well in this capacity. Right. So that's why I reach out to those, again, like the lady mentioned earlier, who has been doing this for 30 plus years. Okay, so I'm going to reach out to someone, my senior, who has been doing, so that I could understand exactly what does this look like for me in this way. So
and we got some tools coming, y'all. We got some tools, some resources that I've been speaking and training about. We've been coaching about, and so we got this good book here. I don't know if you've all seen that. We're about to start diving into this.
How to be an anti-racist. This is actually sold out right now.
Yeah, it's sold out right now, but I think you can get it on Kindle. But the hard copy is sold out. But this is what we're gonna jump into soon enough. But again, we have tons of resources that we want to equip you with. So to get them out of here.
So the things that we wanted to leave you with is these particular questions. Okay, if you are having difficulty with having winning conversations, so it's not a matter of if you should have winning conversations, but it's how. What is the first question they should ask?
So ask yourself, because again, we want to win in every conversation we have, regardless. Remember, respect, empathy, maturity. We got to do it right.
Have to be in the room.
So number one, am I able to actively listen and be in the moment with someone without having a pre-made response? I'll say it again. Am I able to actively listen? Ask yourself this. Am I able to actively listen and be in the moment with someone without having a pre-made response?
This is going to take a little bit of work, y'all, because our brain already operates a mile and a half. We have responses made. We're like, oh I'm going to get this. Like, I'm going to just lay this out. And no, the key word here is actively. Actively listen. Okay, so that means you're present. You don't have any responses queued up in that moment, so that's one way. That's one question to ask.
What's the next one?
The second one is, am I able to temporarily push aside preconceived biases, judgments, stereotypes, and or beliefs? Am I able to do that? Am I able to really lay aside these things in order to have a winning conversation and not push my agenda?
I can't have an agenda?
No, I need you to be present, and I need you to push those things aside, because I need you to see me. This is something that I've learned in counseling. People need to be seen, or to feel seen, loved, and heard. Seen, loved, and heard. Okay, so if you're not operating like that, ask these questions. What's the third one?
And here's the thing, because biases, we all have them. We all have them. We all have had. If you are a human being, you've experienced life. And so biases are going to be there. However, those ones that can be judgmental, that can be stereotypes, that don't need to come to the party with you. So make sure you're doing what you need to do to not bring those. Number 3, am I willing to be respectful and mature
in what?
In dialogue? You got to ask yourself these questions, because these are real questions. If you're trying to have a conversation about racism, injustice, inequality, you have to ask yourself, am I willing to be respectful and mature? In dialogue.
What does maturity look like, though, in dialogue? What do you think maturity looks like?
Maturity in dialogue looks like not interrupting.
Not cutting you off.
Not cutting me off. Not disrespecting me. Not calling me out of my name. Or calling them out of their name.
Or typing in caps on social media.
Not typing in caps on social media.
Sorry. Okay.
Hey, we're seeing this. We're seeing this, and this is real. And so, if you can't be respectful and you can't be mature about the conversation, it will probably be best that you wait for a better time.
Yeah, so these questions are also for you to gauge your level of readiness.
Exactly.
Okay, so if you feel a little about one or two of them, then maybe those are the same areas that you need to, you know, just work a little bit more on.
Yeah.
And the last question that we have is, do I have the ability to understand and share the feelings of another?
That's tough.
Yeah. Let me put it this way. In other words, do I express empathy and compassion?
Do you express it?
Yeah.
Are you able to do it actively in the conversation?
Yeah. Because I don't need you to tell me what needs to be done, what has been done, all that stuff. I just need you to empathize with my situation, not sympathize.
Not sympathize.
Okay? Empathize with my situation at this point. Yeah.
That's what it's about. When we having these necessary conversations, I ain't gonna call them tough anymore because you all are graduating. Those who are looking at this video, you're graduating from tough conversations to necessary winning conversations. That's what we have to have. We have to have courageous conversations.
Yeah, and you can, you know, use these questions for any form of conflict, really.
Yeah.
You know, but the point that we're trying to make is in this season, in what we have that's, you know, present before us on a daily basis, I'd say a minute by minute basis. Check yourself. Check yourself. Why are you checking others? No?
Don't check nobody else until you check yourself.
Check yourself. And we're dropping these things to you guys, but also know that we're also doing the work. You know, so
we doing the work, y'all.
Yes, we are. So it's a little bit different from the previous weeks that we have. We normally do, like, you know, our top 10 and stuff. We just go in and in, but we just felt the need to kind of jump in and to just talk to you guys, you know, listen to what it is that you're saying, how you're feeling, you know, and really just feel the temperature of what's going on. So,
and remember, don't feel guilty for not occupying every lane that we discussed. We need everyone in their specific lane. Right?
Absolutely.
We don't want you doing everything. You'll get burnt out. And remember, don't start a group like a you know, activist group, because there's so many out there. Join in, whether it's with your energy, whether it's with your finances. Join in with an already established group. And really partner so that way we can do things even better. So let's make it happen. Let's make it happen, great people. Cool. Well, I think we good.
That's all we got.
Keep your feet on the gas pedal. Keep your foot on the gas pedal. Both of them. Keep both of them. Both of them on the gas.
I just wanted y'all to hear that. Both.
See, why are you talking about
I love it.
All right,
guys.
Have a great, amazing week. And remember, listen, if you're doing life alone, you're doing it wrong. Get involved in some type of active racial reconciliation group. If you want to join a group that we're going to do soon, a virtual group, let us know in the comment section because we're going to do a couple walkthroughs of my winning conversations, the path to active racial reconciliation. So if you want to get involved in that, send me an inbox, and we will definitely put you on.